Hi there, everyone. This is Ryan with the Southern Maryland office of Real Property Management Gold, locally serving St. Mary's, Charles, and Calvert counties, out of our physical offices in Lexington Park and Waldorf. Today, I want to discuss the question we get asked by every potential new client and every client that we do have, and that is, how do you price my rental? How can you tell me how much my rental is worth? Well, there's several ways we can do this, but the first thing we need to realize is the price of your rental is dictated by the market and the market only. It is only it's only based upon how much people in your area are renting homes for that are similar to yours. And the whole key to this is running what's called a comps report. A comps report takes into account the homes that are close to your area that are in similar condition, similar age, similar size, and in the similar neighborhoods that will determine the rental rate. So in order to get a comps report started, there are three important pieces of information that we need. That is the square footage, the neighborhood, and the amount of beds and baths. This will at least give us a starting point for figuring out the initial range of where your house will rent. So if you were to call us and you gave us that information, we can give you a range within a couple $100s of what your house would rent for. There is a slight difference, though, that we cannot determine until we actually come out to the property, and that is determining the condition and the upgrades in the home. Obviously, a house that's cleaner and better condition, cleaner carpets, upgraded appliances, upgraded cabinets, updated bathrooms, good paint colors, things of that nature will raise your house up slightly amongst other things in your neighborhood. So we do have to physically come out to the property to give you an exact range, and that is kind of determined upon expertise in the market of us knowing homes in the neighborhood. There are a couple things in comps reports that you do need to be aware of that can change the outcome. One of those things that is misunderstood is taking into consideration finished basements, especially in split foyers. Finished basement square footage and finished basement bedrooms and baths do not count as much towards the value of the home if they were above. A finished basement with an extra bedroom in it or extra baths will increase the value, but it will not increase it the same and will not comp the same against the property that has that same amount of square footage in beds and baths above level. So just be careful with that with the finished basements. You can type into Zillow your new square footage with your finished basement and your added bath, but it still will not, in reality, rent or sell your house for the same amount. Some things you need to be careful of when you're choosing an agent or a property manager for either rent or sale is you need to really look at and assess the comps report that the realtor or agent brings to you. A lot of times we're seeing that agents and realtors are bringing comps reports that are not realistic into listing conversations just in order to get a listing. A lot of times what they can do is the MRIS or Bright, where the realtors generate the reports, a lot of realtors actually pick the comparables that are based upon the house in your market. So a lot of times what they do to make it look like they can get you more for your house or get you more for the rental amount is they'll pick comps that are houses that are newer or not in the same neighborhood or have tons of upgrades in order to give you the top amount to make it look like that their expertise is going to get you more. In reality, it's not. It's proven that realtors who do this are very rarely penalized because what happens is that they just end up dropping the rental rate or the price of your home, knowing that there's a 90% chance you're going to stay with them and the house is going to sell regardless of what they told you and what it actually sells for. So make sure that when you get a comps report, you ask to take a look at it and assess it yourself and see if it makes sense. We see it all the time where houses built in 2018, they comp against houses that were built in 1990 because they're the same square footage. But in reality, it just does not work. So make sure that you really assess these comp reports. The comp reports that we use are third-party generated reports. So we don't actually do anything other than put the stats in, and it will give us our what's called our rent range. So it's done by a third party. We don't have any way to manipulate our reports to make them look better, and that doesn't really benefit our clients to to mislead them on what the rental rate will be. A lot of times, if the rental rate's not right, then the house will sit on the market longer, and any amount of money you would you would potentially make from getting the higher rental rate, you lose from having it sit on the market. Just take into consideration that every day your house is on the market, you lose money. Every day there's not a renter, you're losing a certain amount of dollars per day. Take the amount of rent that you're collecting divided by 30. That's the amount you're losing straight off the top. So if you're going to hold out for that extra $100 or $200 a month, if you leave it on market for 15 days, 15, 30, 60 days, that's already eaten up and then a lot more. So you got to really make sure you're realistic with this price to get it to rent fast. Yeah, so with that said, there's a lot of strategies people try to use. They're like, oh, we'll put it up high first and then we can just come down, or just put it up that it's not when repairs are in process, or do those kinds of things. Those things just add to days on market, which will lower the value of your home. The longer your house is sitting on the market, the more you're going to have to cut the price in order to rent it. It just gives that perception that there's something wrong with it, it's overpriced, there's some kind of problem, and that's when your house, especially if it's been sitting on the market for more than 30 days, you will start to get people trying to negotiate with you on price more. They'll ask for more. They'll ask for lower standards. They'll ask if you're going to accept housing vouchers, all kinds of things like that you don't want to get into. So the key is to make sure you're priced realistically and to get that house rented and off the market as quickly as possible. You'll get a renter faster. You'll start receiving income faster. You'll receive a better, higher qualified renter if there's people competing over the house. And the way to get people competing over the house is to make sure that it's in good condition and that it's priced correctly immediately upon going on market. And that's all I have in terms of pricing your property. If you have any questions, feel free to fill out the form on the website or call our office at the number below, and we will answer any questions. Thank you. This is Ryan from the Southern Maryland office of Real Property Management Gold. Have a good day. Bye.